Hello, and welcome to our Safety Awareness Orientation. This video will increase your awareness of on-the-job safety hazards and keep you productive and safe from injury. After the video, you'll be asked to complete a short safety quiz based on the information in the video. As a staffing associate, safe work practices must be a priority every day, are condition of employment, and are not optional. Our organization and our clients are committed to providing a safe work environment for all associates. However, sometimes accidents do occur. If you are involved in a work-related accident, report it to your client's supervisor and your staffing recruiter immediately to ensure proper medical treatment. If it's an emergency that requires immediate medical care, please make sure your staffing recruiter has been notified of your injury as soon as you are able. Report even the smallest injury or accident. It's also important to know that the staffing recruiter will thoroughly investigate all accidents, and we will pursue legal action against fraudulent claims. Before beginning work at any client's work site, it is important to know the general safety rules for working safely. Our clients will provide all necessary worksite training needed to perform your job safely. If you do not receive proper worksite training, contact your staffing recruiter immediately. We do not expect you to take unnecessary chances or work under hazardous conditions. Never take risks. The consumption of alcoholic beverages, illicit drugs, or prescription medications that may cause impairment or interfere with completing job tasks safely is not permitted. Always work at a speed that is consistent with safety. Always inspect tools and equipment before use. Work clear of suspended loads. Horseplay or any unauthorized activity is not permitted on the work site. We do not allow associates to engage in athletic events or sports during work hours. Obey all warning signs and tags. Try not to work alone. However, if you must work alone, tell someone where you are and how long you will be by yourself. Work in confined spaces is not permitted. Operate only the machinery or equipment you have been authorized and properly trained to run safely. Contact your staffing recruiter if the client asks you to do something unsafe or a different job task than you were sent there to do. Remove jewelry, such as rings, bracelets, and necklaces before performing any work that involves climbing, material handling, and/or operating mechanical equipment. Never reach over moving parts of machinery or equipment, and never operate machinery or equipment where guards have been removed or are missing. Never work at elevated heights, on elevated platforms or ladders without following general safety procedures, such as making sure ladders are safe and in good working order, using required harness or other fall protection connected to fixed structures, and/or having another employee present, a spotter, to stabilize the ladder. Now that you're aware of the general safety rules, let's look at some of the specific safety practices that are important to keeping you safe. Personal protective equipment, or PPE, is a term that covers many items that are designed to protect you from workplace injuries or illnesses. All staffing associates must know and use the PPE that is required for each of their work assignments and where they are located. Here are some examples. Eye protection includes safety glasses, face shields, and welding helmets. Shatterproof lenses and prescription glasses are not approved safety glasses. Goggles must be worn over prescription glasses that are not approved eyewear. Foot injuries can be prevented by the correct work shoe or boot. Choose the right shoe or boot for the work environment you are in. Some clients may require steel-toed boots or shoes. Hearing protection may be required to prevent hearing loss when in noisy environments. Examples of hearing protections are earplugs and earmuffs. Gloves are worn to protect your hands and fingers and may be required in certain work sites. They help protect from lacerations and punctures, caustic chemicals, and can be made of leather, rubber, or Kevlar. Head protection, like hard hats, must be worn where there's a possibility of striking your head or impact from falling or flying objects. Always take good care of your PPE. If you're unsure of what PPE to use or how to wear it, notify your supervisor. In addition, report damaged or defective PPE to your supervisor immediately. Finally, remember that all PPE must be approved by your supervisor and/or your staffing recruiter. The Hazard Communications Standard, or HAZCOM, is a program created by OSHA with the intent to protect you from accidental contact with chemicals. The standard provides you the right to know about the chemicals you may encounter on the job and explains how to protect yourself from the hazards associated with these chemicals. OSHA defines a hazardous chemical as one that presents a physical or health hazard to the user. Physical hazards of a chemical include flammability, sensitivity to sudden releases of pressure, and reactivity. Health hazards include chemicals that contain carcinogens, toxins, reproductive toxins, irritants, corrosives, and sensitizers. A health hazard can be acute, occurring immediately, such as contact with corrosives that can burn the skin. A chronic health hazard causes problems over a long period of time. One of your primary responsibilities as a staffing associate is to understand the chemicals you work with or may encounter on a routine basis. In this safety awareness video, we will provide you with the basic principles of HazCom. Specific worksite HazCom training will be provided by the client you are assigned to if you have routine or regular contact with the chemicals while at their worksite. The Safety Data Sheet, SDS, is a document that shows all of the information needed to work with the chemicals safely. Our clients must have an SDS for each of the chemicals used in the workplace. A copy of the SDS can be kept in a binder or they may be kept online. Our client must make you aware of where the SDS information is located. Both our clients and associates must ensure that chemical containers and transfer containers are properly labeled. Our clients must thoroughly train associates of each of the chemicals they will be using at the worksite and are required to make sure that they are able to read and understand the information on the SDS. To protect yourself and others, it is your responsibility to follow the guidance contained on the SDS. In the SDS, there are multiple sections outlining the chemical makeup, the exposure limits, the proper personal protective equipment to wear, and what to do in case of a spill or other emergency. Another important part of the SDS is the Global Harmonized System, or GHS, which identifies chemicals stored in containers. The GHS has 3 label requirements: symbol or pictogram of hazard, 2, signal word like danger or warning, 3, standard phrase to indicate a warning. Here is an example of a GHS label. Some additional safety tips to keep in mind when using chemicals include: use chemicals properly and only for what they are intended. Do not mix incompatible chemicals. Use appropriate PPE such as face and eye protection, gloves, and boots. Know the location of the nearest eye wash and safety shower prior to working with chemicals. Remove all jewelry prior to using chemicals. Always wash your hands before and after using chemicals, especially before eating. Never eat or drink while working with chemicals. Exertion injuries from lifting, pushing, pulling, and twisting result in many painful and disabling injuries in the workplace. These injuries can have a significant impact on your lifestyle and the things you enjoy every day. Proper lifting techniques are critical to reducing your exposure. When lifting, move in close to the load. Bend at your knees, not at the waist. Keep your back straight and avoid unnecessary twisting. Hold the load close to your body. Lift the material using the strength of your legs, not your back. If the material is too heavy, use a mechanical aid like a dolly or a team lift. Good housekeeping describes the practice of keeping the workplace and storage facilities neat and orderly. To maintain good housekeeping, take the following actions. Keep all aisles, stairways, passageways, exits, and access ways to buildings free from obstructions at all times. Clean up all spills immediately. Return tools to their proper place so that they do not fall, or they are in a location where they cause a slip, trip, and fall injury. And lay out extension cords, hoses, ladders, pipes, tools, etc. in a way that minimizes a tripping hazard or obstruction to traffic. Most electrical accidents can be prevented. Only qualified personnel are allowed to perform repair work to electrical equipment. Remember these precautions when working with electricity. Inspect equipment and cords for damage prior to use. Don't overload electrical outlets, and report any electrical concerns you have to your supervisor. Lockout-tagout is a safety procedure for de-energizing, disconnecting, and shutting down the power sources to equipment so that it can be maintained or repaired without hazard. When a power source is shut down, a lock and/or tag is affixed to the equipment to ensure it is not started up until the repair work or maintenance is completed. If you see equipment that is locked and tagged out, do not touch the lock, tag, equipment, or controls. Only qualified personnel are allowed to perform repair work to lock out, tag out equipment, or reported deficiencies. One of the most common types of accidents and injuries in any facility are from a slip, trip, or fall. Some people can fall, get up, brush themselves off, and continue on their way. Others may fall and suffer significant injuries. It's not necessarily how far you fall, but how you might land that caused an injury. To prevent slips, trips, or falls, pay attention to walking surfaces, noting changes such as varying heights and the presence of curbs. When walking around a blind intersection, make wide turns at corners. Wear slip-resistant shoes when appropriate. Keep your hands free for balance and out of your pockets. Make sure that you can see over the load you are carrying. Keep work areas clean and free of clutter. Make sure to use the handrails on stairs and other elevated places. Clean up spills immediately. Report any safety concerns to your supervisor and slow down. Injuries to fingers, hands, and eyes from using incorrect, defective, or worn hand and power tools are a common occurrence. To use hand and power tools safely, follow these safety practices. Select the right tool for the job. Always wear the correct PPE for the job, such as safety glasses, especially when using chisels, punches, and wedges. Check the handle and head of each tool for tightness and proper working condition before each use. Power cords should not be frayed or have exposed wiring, and report anything that may be wrong with the tool to your supervisor so that it can be repaired or replaced. Emergencies due to fire, severe weather, and other national events can occur at any time. It is important to be prepared and know what to do if an emergency does occur. Our clients should explain important emergency procedures for their environment. Be aware of all evacuation routes, exits, assembly and shelter areas at your workplace. Take part in worksite evacuation drills and training sessions relating to emergency situations. You do not use elevators to evacuate, and remain in the designated area until authorities give the all-clear signal. This completes your safety awareness orientation. If you have any questions on the topics discussed, please contact your staffing recruiter. Remember to work safely on every job, every day. We want you to remain safe and healthy whenever you work with us. Next, you'll be asked to complete a short safety quiz based on the information in this video. Thank you.